Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has had enough. On Monday, he enacted the country's Emergencies Act in an effort to stop the protests against Canada's mandates designed to help slow the spread of COVID. But the law was put in place in 1988. It's never been used until now. Trudeau is the first one to use the act. He said that it gives police more tools to restore order in areas where public gatherings constitute illegal and dangerous activities. On top of that, financial institutions will be given special powers to stop funding for the so-called Freedom Convoy.
Is there something with Canada and COVID that's different than once you cross into Michigan and COVID or Florida and COVID or anywhere else
tolerance
with COVID?
I don't know. I thought the brisk air would be helpful.
Yeah.
He's just a fuck. First off, he's such a puss. But secondly, yeah, they're now getting into your bank accounts now. I mean, it's getting into this.
These are extreme powers. By any reasonable measure, I was looking at the act, and it's like, oh yeah, they can fuck you up.
Yes, those who are constantly worried about tyrannical dictators are acting like tyrannical dictators, which makes me think everything is now just projection at this point. But it's over or it's not over, and we have to live with it. Either way, there's this thing of like, you must follow my dictates, or otherwise I'm going to have to do this, or you could just drop the mandates and get the fuck on with it. I think 90% of the truckers are vaccinated anyway, and the rest, I'm sure, have natural immunity. And then at a certain point, it's their choice.
Well, yeah, but it's interesting, too, because you think there's always somebody protesting something, a large group protesting whatever. And it does kind of make me laugh, depending on whatever side you're on of whatever's being protested at the moment. It's like, good, clean house, get them out of there. Or like, why are you stepping on these people's rights? And it's just a matter of what you believe in that moment, what one believes.
Yeah. But see, I'll tell you where he jumped the shark with me. I cannot stand everyone grafting race and sort of hate crimes onto everything. And it's been a peaceful protest. There has a Nazi flag has been spotted. There's now lots of stuff now where people from the group that is not in the group just shows up with a Nazi flag and someone takes a picture. Not saying if that happened, but it's happening now. Where
it happens.
You show up to the march,
the opportunist.
fuck the march up.
Yeah.
But yes, okay, one guy or two guys or three guys, they show up with the Nazi flag, and then the truckers tell the guys with Nazi flags to go the fuck home because you're ruining it for everyone. This is not our message. But always it's racist. Like, listen, here's the deal, everyone. From this point on, you can have all the opinions you want about therapeutics, masks, vaccines, or truckers. The moment you start bringing race into it, I'm done with your argument. I'm no longer listening to your fucking weak-ass argument with everything is hate and everything is racism. It's a bunch of fucking truckers. I don't even know how many black people they have in Canada, but as far as I can tell, they're protesting against your vax mandates. That doesn't make him a racist hate group. Such a fucking feckless pussy, that guy. He has to weave it in. And he won't meet with them. He won't meet with them.
And these aren't just random people. These are the people that essentially keep your economy open. The truckers.
They were heroes in the past.
Right. During COVID.
Right. But now...
Okay.
Ignorant question. Why truckers? Why not?
That union?
What's that?
Why that union?
Yeah, why truckers? Why are truckers upset? Why not construction workers or firemen? Or fill in the blank. I'm just curious.
I think it attracts a more independent breed. Like if you go trucker, I don't want to sit in an office all day and have some guy in a clip-on tie breathing down my neck. Open road, live my own life, make my own hours. So you have a whole bunch of sort of independent, free thinking, because the idea of driving a truck to me sounds miserable. But if you ever hear them, it's like, independent. I'm an independent trucker. That's got the word independent right now. I don't have to punch the time clock. I open road. It's a lot of that.
That's so funny you mentioned that. I can only imagine Canada's rules are as stringent or more stringent than ours. But truckers, as you probably suspect or maybe heard, are under incredible restrictions. Like you can only drive 8 hours in a row. You have to get 8 hours of sleep. Like there's a lot of
only one nephew can jerk it in your back cabin.
It is draconian measures. But the notion that you put out is true maybe 40 years ago. The open road, you're your own boss, you do your own hour. Nowadays, you are highly regimented.
I agree. But I think a lot of these guys have been doing it for 40 years.
Yeah, they're veterans.
What's her name? Not Dottie Dootson.
Debbie Dootson.
Debbie Dootson.
I should know. I'm Debbie Dootson.
That's right.
Find me the Dootson trucking spot.
It's been a while.
And or Wally Thorpe.
The typewriter guy?
No, Wally Thorpe was the other school of trucking.
The Coke to their Pepsi.
When I was 11, I'd sit home and go, what do I go for career-wise? Go to the Wally Thorpe School of Trucking or go to the Dootson School of Trucking?
You weighed your options.
Debbie's pretty easy on the eyes, but Wally makes a pretty...
compelling argument.
Well, he showed up with a full bag of groceries. He said, 1964, $10 bought this many. And then today, it was a half a bag.
Yeah.
And so that means you got to drive a truck.
Do the math.
Right.
A plus B equals C. Mm-hmm. Oh, here we go.
This is this Dootson?
Yes.
All right.
Hello, my name's Douglas Cash. I learned how to drive the big rigs at Dootson School of Trucking. I earned $1,500 the first week and $50,000 a year.
Whoa.
If you want to make big money, call now, area code 818-445-2400 or 213-692-6938.
Is verification spelled correctly?
It is not spelled
Dootson
correctly.
driving schools are the best. Ask me. I'm Debbie Dootson.
Call now, 818-445-2400. Do it now. Do it with Dootson.
That feels 80s to me. I'd probably launched my career in ditch digging at that point. They misspelled verification?
I've never seen it spelled like that.
Huh.
It's VER.
Yeah. All right.
IFI?
That's how you know they're good.
Yeah, it's a weird way to spell.
It's how someone would spell your name.
You know, but it's how you know they're good at driving trucks.
That's
I
right.
don't got time for this shit. I don't got time for spell check.
That's right. That's school learning. I learn on the road.
The families of the Sandy Hook massacre from 2012 have settled for $73 million with Remington Arms, making this the first time a gun maker has been held liable for a mass shooting.
They sued Remington?
Yes, and I'll give you a little more info on how that went down. ABC News reports that Remington Arms agreed Tuesday to settle the claims from the families of 5 adults and 4 children killed in the massacre at Sandy Hook Elementary. The families allege Remington knowingly and negligently marketed military-grade weapons to unstable individuals, which ultimately led to the Bushmaster AR-15 being used in the Newtown shooting.
It's the prime demo. Come on.
Unstable individuals.
How
and
do
they
you
won.
prove that you're advertising to unstable individuals?
This
Camera goes
case.
Dutch. Hey, weirdos.
This happened in 2012. So ultimately, this case has been going on for roughly a decade. So God knows how many different approaches have been taken. I mean, I think the case actually has been 8 years.
How do you market towards unstable individuals?
Well, let me read you a little bit more. The families argued Remington negligently entrusted to civilian consumers an assault-style rifle that is suitable for use only by military and law enforcement personnel and violated the Connecticut Unfair Trades Practices Act through the sale or wrongful marketing of the rifle. So they should never have been. It's a weapons grade thing. Shouldn't have been
advertised.
right.
A military grade thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Except for it's not, but it's a scary looking gun, but still tons of people use them for sport or whatever.
Yeah.
They don't kill. That's funny. The AR-15, it's like the great white shark. Like, look at it. It's a killer.
Terrifying.
I bet more people are killed by hippos and seals every year.
Hippos kill. Isn't that the thing? They're the most dangerous animal on earth.
Yeah, handguns kill all the people, and then there's like knives and fists, and then like AR-15s.
Yeah.
But it's the poster child for why we got to get rid of guns.
Is this that? I'm ignorant.
This is an AR-15, and again, we're getting in the weeds. This is not. I'm certainly no expert, but this was semi-automatic. It's not even an automatic, but yeah, people don't like it, and the payout is done. I think that whatever. I never understand this when corporations say like, okay, we'll pay you the $200 million, but we're not accepting responsibility. Which is like, well, you kind of did by paying, but like that's kind of part of the deal. They did that with the Sacklers, with OxyContin. Like, okay. Let's go on to another lawsuit. A judge has ruled that a libel lawsuit with former Alaska Governor Sarah Palin that she filed against the New York Times over a 2017 editorial should be thrown out because her lawyers failed to produce adequate evidence that the newspaper knew what it wrote would knew what it wrote about her was false or acted recklessly toward indications it was false. So this was when an editorial basically had her partially responsible for a series of shootings in Arizona. One shooting spree killed 6 people and gravely wounded Gabby Giffords. They kind of tied her rhetoric to that.
With the crosshairs?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But that is very hard to prove that that libel caught.
I got to talk. I'm going to talk
this.
to Mark about it in 20 minutes, I think.
Okay, good.
So I want to ask him, the jury was out,
Yes.
and then the judge dropped it. I feel like it's weird that the
I'll tell
jury
you
went
why.
out to deliberate. Yeah, go ahead.
He deliberately did not tell them because he said, obviously, you're going to want to appeal. And for whatever reason, I don't know that much about how the law works. I have to basically let you guys come to a decision. And then somehow that makes Sarah Palin's people able to appeal the decision. That, like, for whatever reason, he couldn't interrupt the jury proceedings because specifically he said, I assume you're going to want to appeal this.
Well, I'm sure
definitely
Mark
ask
will
him about that.
come up with something.
Yeah. And, everybody in New York's mad at her because she had COVID, didn't get vaccinated, went back to the same restaurant, full-blown COVID, and shook everybody's hand.
The whole thing about the vaccination is it doesn't stop you from getting it or spreading it. So why is this whole thing about you're putting me in danger? You can be vaccinated and spread it, as Israel has shown us and many other places. It's this weird thing, like you're putting me in danger. No, you get vaccinated to put you out of danger. If you can get it and spread it, vaccinated or not, I'm getting back to Sonny, then how am I putting you in danger if it's transmitted, whether have it or not?
Right.
The advantage of the vaccination is that you get a lesser version of it, but that's for you.
Right.
Anyway.
And who doesn't want their period every 3 weeks?
Yeah.
So remember the other day, and again, jury's still very much out, but remember when I said, boy, that Bob Saget blunt force trauma sounds like more than just a bump on the head.
Wow,
And you said you watch too much Nancy Grace.
Yeah, there's
Well,
I don't know, Brian's following this,
No,
but
no.
I have it for you.
there's corners that like that ain't hitting your head on the bathroom floor. That's a baseball bat.
Correct.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, so to
That's
speak.
what they're saying. The
Yeah.
way
It
the
is
skull
akin
was
to,
cracked.
yeah.
And,
So
yes.
let's just skip down to the Daily Mail reported this, posted the autopsy report saying Saget suffered a significant blow to the head. One doctor said it appeared consistent with taking a baseball bat to the skull or falling 20 to 30 feet. The report said Saget suffered multiple fractures stretching from the back to the front of the skull and along the eye sockets. It also revealed there was bleeding across both sides of his brain. Meanwhile, Dr. Joshua Marcus, MD, neurosurgery at Nuvance Health, says the injuries suggest more than benign head trauma. While Dr. Marcus does acknowledge the possibility that Saget could have suffered a very bad fall, he says the injuries around the eye sockets are what gives him pause. But the Orange County Sheriff's Office says they believe he wasn't struck by anything. They suggest that Saget's injuries likely came from a fall where he hit the back of his head on a flat surface like a bathroom floor.
I was going to say, it could have been
And
a shower fall.
they've ruled it accidental. But how do you, it's like the whole head and your eye sockets.
Well, okay. And this factors in. Bob Saget is a tall guy.
True.
Now, he passed out and collapsed. That's
The longer fall.
Yeah. If he caught on like a toilet edge
I was gonna say
or
sink.
sink or something like that, maybe not the floor, certainly not the carpet per se.
Or the
This
sink, then the floor.
feels
Yeah,
like
right.
the bathroom, a tile, a sink,
A
or
bathroom
a toilet.
counter, a toilet, a floor.
Right, something like that. I mean, I presume, because aren't there just sort of cameras everywhere now? Like, how can you check into the hotel and go up to your room and have then some stranger with a bat comes in? It feels very, very weird.
Yeah. But if the coroner already said it's an accident, what do you want from me? How does that stay open? Like, it's done, it's done.
I don't know.
Maybe the
but
family would just
thank
like to...
God we have another conspiracy theory to argue about over the next 50 years.
I may be asking an unanswerable question, but if one falls in or out of the shower or bathroom area or whatever, there's multiple bruises and whatever on your shins or hip or what, right? Wouldn't it be pretty obvious?
I all I can think of minus foul play is you fall and you hit your head on like the toilet bowl edge or something that's got some haft that's a little sharp or something like that. That's all I got.
Yeah. That's the thing that's weird to me, and I'm no doctor, but for a doctor to be like, I just don't know how his orbital sockets got busted. It's like, well, that is a good question.
Well, it is interesting. I mean, look, when you hear guys that are medical coroners going, this looks like a fall from 20 or 30 feet, not collapsing.
Right.
Hitting your head on subflooring.
Yeah.
That does bring it into question.
Well, if there's any updates that aren't just conspiracies, I'll be sure to let you know. Dawson has got to be, I'm worried about you. I almost did a wellness call for you because CNN is reporting that the United States has suspended avocado imports from Mexico's western state of Michoacan after a U.S. official received a threat. According to the statement, the U.S. Department of Agricultural, Animal, and Plant Health Inspection Services, heretofore named USDA APHIS, decided to pause until further notice the avocado inspection activities in Michoacan after one of its officers who was carrying out an inspection, worked a regular day, received a threatening call to his official cell phone. Michoacan is the only state in Mexico authorized to export avocados to the U.S., and the USDA reported that...
I had a thought. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mike sent me the article. It's like the cartels. I was thinking about. But I'll tell you, Doss, you ready to be devastated?
Yes.
Although you may not choose to do your burrito this way, but I don't do fast food in general, and I don't treat myself to that kind of stuff very often, although I'll certainly eat some Chinese food, some rice. But Saturday night, I had a hankering for a Chipotle burrito.
Oh, wow.
And I don't always just go, I'll do the bowl or something, the protein bowl. But I'm like, fuck it. I'm done shooting all my specials. I don't give a fuck if I get fat.
Rice, beans.
I'm going all in. And I had it all worked out in my head. And I showed up at the
You're building it in your mind.
I was building it in my mind.
You're pointing at different ingredients.
And I was like, I definitely...
Double scoop!
I like the rice in my burrito. I'm like, I want the rice. I want the beans. I want it all. I think I went with the... oh, God, what's the style I go with? It was the beef, but it's... El Pastor, I think.
Barbacoa.
Barbacoa. I want the barbacoa. I want the rice. I want the cheese. The whole thing. I got to the end. I'm like... And I want the guac. We're out of guac. And I'm like, ooh.
Devastating.
The guac tempers things.
Yeah.
It kind of cools
mellows it.
The barbacoa is a little spicy, a little salty, but the guac evens. I had it in my head. Yes, the guac. I had it in my head, and then we got to the empty thing.
You got to throw it on the floor.
And I was like,
out.
where's? And I thought,
better bring out the backup.
Yeah.
Sometimes you bring out the fresh, and they're like, no guac. And I'm like, oh. God damn, you crushed my burrito dreams here. Dawson, you a guac in the burrito guy?
I only have cartel guac.
Yeah,
that's
pure
where I draw
uncut.
the line.
He has a guy.
Unstepped on.
Well, and that's the thing. Michoacan,
I don't know if this was that, but they were out of guac.
If Chipotle is out of guac,
yes,
because it's near the Pacific Ocean, it's made
guac blocked. Not mine. That's Chris's, everybody.
Oh, that was really good. Has made it a turf war between criminal organizations that fight for territory and profits from industries like avocados.
TERF, like the women who don't count.
J.K. Rowling doesn't like avocados.
I think it's clear that drug cartels should now just be called cartels because whether it be human trafficking or fentanyl or guacamole, they can figure out a way to turn a dime on anything. And I would argue, it'd be controversial, but I'd like to bring some of those guys out to Los Angeles and go, look, here's what's on the table. We got a homeless problem. We got a traffic issue, school system failing. Like, you guys are pretty good problem. Yeah, first off, you're very fluid. You seem to be able to pivot quickly. And you're definitely results oriented. Like, you figure out a way to make a profit on everything. Maybe you can help us out here.
I think you're right. I think it would be controversial.
Maybe at first.
But hey.
All right, let's bring it home.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
I don't think you're kidding.
Gina Grad.
That was the news with Gina Grad.
All right, last but not least, there's Geico. I'd love to save some money on your insurance. Of course you would. And who doesn't love a deal? Well, when it comes to great rates on insurance for everything, Geico can help insure your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, RV, even homeowners, condo and renters insurance as well. Save even more with a special discount when you bundle those coverages. Plus, add the easy-to-use Geico mobile app and get 24/7 roadside assistance. And the switch to Geico becomes a no-brainer. Switch today and save a ton of dough at Geico. All right, let's see. Spokane Late Show. Some tickets still available. That's coming up Thursday, February 17th. This Thursday in Tacoma. All shows are sold out, so thank you, Tacoma. But we'll see you guys on the road in coming to Waukegan, Illinois, Genesee Theater March 10th, and then Kansas City March 11th and 12th at the Comedy Club of Kansas City.
Go do the stand-up.
And who's Austin, Texas? Who's there? Me? Huh. March 25th, 26th.
Indianapolis.
Podcast and stand-up.
Go do the stand-up.
Yeah, go do the stand-up. So just go to adamcarolla.com for that. Until next time, it's Adam Carolla for Mark Bauerlein and Bald Bryan and Gina Grad saying mahalo.